You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it.
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Oh, well, hello there. Welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. Ooh, yeah. Lower. That's the spot. Welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddy, Kevin Duggan.
Hello.
Let's not forget Kyle, the coach Duggan.
I'm here as well, guys.
All right, gang. Well, we are still coming off of the highs of a big fat W. Seeing it live
So
in
sweet.
person at SoFi Stadium. Guys, how are we feeling?
$1 million, honestly.
How's your voice, Kevin?
As you can tell, I have some ground beef in my throat because I was screaming so much yesterday, but it was worth it because we got loud.
That's
and
right.
I feel like we got just as loud as Raider fans did at certain portions of the game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we showed up, man. And we
Big
showed
time.
up, and that was the one kind of variable I was like, okay, what is this turnout going to be like?
Yeah.
And it was a good turnout.
Good.
There was a lot of good vibe Charger fans there. Everyone was happy, smiles on their face, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We don't have the giant numbers. It's okay. But the ones that are there, they're about it. We're watching the game. We're not fighting each other, trying to knock
I saw
out.
that video.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be a giant fan base if that's what comes with it, because all the Charger fans that we talked to at the game were so cool. It was a great day. My head hurts insanely
Dehydration was a real deal.
It was a
Good.
real concern. Yesterday I was doubtful for Thursday. I've been bumped up.
It's questionable.
You're now in the questionable territory.
Yeah, things are looking better now
Right.
for Thursday, but definitely still have a lingering headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks, it was just an absolutely amazing experience going to Thunder Alley, meeting up with everybody.
So many people.
So many people, and so many great experiences, great photo opportunities, great stories that we're hearing from people about all of their experiences with the Chargers and
Brisket
listening
Broads
to
gave
us.
us trumpets.
Brisket Broads gave us trumpets
did.
and hats and
They're the best.
ornaments. Like, it was just a wonderful, just a big love fest for us. And we can't tell you guys how much we appreciate that, especially at the end of the game. A fan came up to us. He started sauntering over to us. He was wearing a big, very nice looking Phillip Rivers
Very
jersey,
nice.
powder blue, came up and introduced himself and was asking what we were doing. And we're like, we're waiting for our ride, waiting for a lift. And he was like, well, I've got my car right here. Do you guys need a ride back? And it was just like, you beautiful man. Because we were surrounded by
Ernesto.
Raiders
I don't know if
fans.
Ernesto is a real person or if that was an angel.
He was a guardian angel. Yeah.
It was a Phillip
Because
Rivers jersey.
we were
wearing
on
angel.
that street corner, and
Yeah.
people were starting to amp up the shit talk.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
there's
was
a
at
lot
a
of
place where
Raiders.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I was just ready to just bask in the glory in their faces.
And then he
saved the day.
swooped in and saved us.
I think he saved the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Ernesto picked us up, gave us a ride, and we cannot thank you enough. That really was just the sweetest thing you could have done. I think you're right. It might be an angel. This might be a large March situation where we walk into somewhere and we're like, oh yeah, Ernesto Maximo. And they're like, he
who?
died 15 years ago or something like that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ernesto.
That really was quite sweet of
And
you.
also want to shout out met a couple people at the game.
Yes, please.
The mother-daughter combo that
Yes.
came and met us.
She was the
forgetting
fan of the
name right now.
year
Fan
in
of the year
2001.
So we got
Yeah.
them lined up we got some great fan focus
Oh, so
scheduled
many good
while we
fan
were there. So
focuses
there's gonna be
lined
a lot of awesome people. To meet.
Yeah. It cracked me up when we were leaving the stadium. We started walking up the stadium. First was a guy that was like, he was just cheering us on because we were Charger fans. He was like, hey guys, good job. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are the podcast guys. And it's like, just the quick change in his voice was so funny. And then a gal and her husband, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think her name was Leslie. I think it was Leslie.
Lisa, yeah.
Lisa, Leslie. I apologize. It was a big day
We had, like,
yesterday. We had a lot of
500
names
people
thrown at us.
yesterday,
But you were so fun because you were just so happy. I mean, truly just made the end of the game so much more special by just sitting there and chatting with us for like, what was it, like 15 minutes, something like that. It was
she
a long
was
time.
like a lot of love for like our wives that they allow us to do this. She sent my wife. I got a video of her telling her how awesome she was. That was all her idea.
Yeah,
that was
sent
so
it
cool.
to my wife, and she was on cloud 9. So that was huge.
That was so awesome.
Not only did we win, I won with my wife with some brownie points from her. So thank you very much.
Wins all around, big W's.
Big
so
dubs.
let's take a look at our team with the big W. Let's look at our team leaders. Justin Herbert, 279 yards, basically just perfect. He had like 129 quarterback rating. Austin Eckler only rushed for 36 yards. Run game had a bit of a struggle yesterday. Keenan Allen was he the leader? Yeah, the leader, 66 yards yesterday before having to bow out early. And Khalil Mack, 6 tackles. Bryce Callahan, an interception. I mean, God, just like
we spread the ball. Kyle and I were talking about this. We were watching the game this morning before we were doing this. We spread the ball out to absolutely everyone.
Everybody.
I mean, our first touchdown pass of the year goes to Xander Horvath.
My boy,
Second
Xander.
one goes to DeAndre Carter. It's like Mike Williams didn't have his first catch till the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We had already put up 24 points. It was so spread out. Almost everyone on the stat sheet had 60 yards. That's kind of the way that it
insane.
worked. Yeah, there was no, this is our one guy that we have to go at. And if he doesn't have a good game, we're screwed type of a feel.
And you flip it, the other team, Derek Carr was only throwing to Devontae Adams. That is a one-note thing. Once you start picking up what they're doing, you can start shutting that shit down.
Well,
we didn't shut him down for a while, but he had a couple. Sorry, my grumpy voice. But yeah, you can't. It's gonna be hard as hell to guard us. Like I'm kind of bummed we didn't kind of keep our foot down there at the end. But it's going to be hard as hell to guard us because we have so many weapons in there.
Yeah.
He's equally distributing the ball to everybody.
Yeah. I'm counting 9 names here that Justin Herbert threw the ball to. That's pretty wild.
It's crazy.
Throwing it to that many people.
The same thing applies to the defense. Obviously, Khalil Mack had an outrageous game with 3 sacks.
Washed? Is he washed, guys? I don't know.
50 QB pressures.
Freshly cleaned.
Man, that's such an extra little dig into an open wound for a Raider fan, too, to see the guy that you traded away just absolutely come and shellac your team. But defensively, it was pretty spread out, too, right? We had 3 different guys with interceptions. We had the tackles. It was not like one guy with 15 tackles. It was everyone was playing a part, and the snap count was super spread out as well. There were a couple of guys that played every play, the corners and stuff, but for the most part, like the defensive line, they were all just filtering, rotating, linebackers rotating. Yep. That's how you stay healthy for a year. So all that stuff was crazy to see how spread out and like just evenly matched our team is right now.
Absolutely. It's wild looking at all these names that actually contributed. It wasn't just like, well, this was all his game. I mean, coach gave out like 5 game balls or something like that.
Well, everyone and their mom got an interception or a sack. And then our punting game was insane.
Yeah.
Dropping them inside the 2. He said the average was the post thing at the end of the game. He said average was 49 yards a kick. Like that's not what we've had.
Not what we're used to. No.
With really no return.
0 return.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a fantastic game all around. Looking at some of the guys that were rushing. I mean, Austin Eckler, we talked about, had the most rushing yards, 36. Kelly had some pretty big rushes. I mean, he was averaging over 5 yards a rush. He had 21 yards on his game. And Sony Michel came in for a few. I think those were like the big ones. Like we needed to get a first down in like 1 or 2 yards type situation.
Well, and it looks like, Sony Michel was 2 just based on these carries. It was Austin had 14, Sony had 7, Josh had 4. So you kind of see what that looks like. And Joshua was very productive when he got the ball. He's running hard, man.
Yeah, it was really good to see. Different from what we were seeing in previous years. And again, looking at the receiving, Keenan Allen with the most. DeAndre Carter, man. I think he stepped up after Keenan Allen kind of had to bow out. But yeah, he was averaging over 21 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett came in for some catches as well. Didn't quite hit my Bolt prediction of getting 2 touchdowns, but he definitely made the end zone on that one.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler also, man, he had himself a nice long run there too. He was averaging 9 yards a catch. Trig McKinney, I mean, all these guys, man, they're just
spread out. None of them are huge numbers. It's just spread out. So it's not one guy who's like, oh, holy cow, what a game. Outside of Khalil Mack on the defensive side.
Yeah. Let's see. And then on the defensive side, the tackles, man, just spread out everywhere. Khalil Mack, 6 tackles, but I mean, obviously the big headline for Khalil Mack is the 3 sacks, baby.
Nuts.
Especially the one that basically ended the game for the Raiders. That was so big. That was so huge. And 3 tackles for a loss. I mean, come on now. Derwin James, his sack at the beginning of the game.
That was a great way to kick
that
it
came
off.
out of
That was
nowhere.
rad.
That was so cool.
That got the stadium pumping.
So pumping. And Drew Tranquil with his interception. I mean, Drew Tranquil, Bryce Callahan, and Asante Samuel Jr., those guys with their interceptions, man, those came in, it felt like in such clutch moments.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't
Huge.
just like, throw the ball away. I mean, especially Asante Samuel Jr., his was like in the end zone. I mean, they ended up spotting it at the 2, which I still don't understand why that's the situation. But
what also shocked me about watching the game was the lack of penalties. Week 1,
Dude, yes.
none of these guys had really played. And usually we play Derek Carr, he throws those balls up and he just gets a pass interference and they move all the way down the field.
Yep.
I know we had one in the end zone on that 2-point conversion. Mike Davis held on to Devontae.
right. But they still didn't convert that 2-point on the next try.
And
so.
other than that, it was I feel like from a penalty standpoint, very minimal. So that was it was clean. There was no like formation penalties outside. I think taking our victory formation at the end, we had a little penalty, which I guess you need to practice that more.
We're not used to that.
We weren't expecting to be taking
a lot
any
more of those coming up this year. I think.
But yeah, I felt like the lack of penalties was encouraging. Right, that's a clean football team that's disciplined, well coached. The other stuff, it can go your way sometimes, but penalty is something you can control, and so that was really, really encouraging to see for the season.
Big
Coming
time
off the bat, yeah.
Well, looking at the quarterbacks here, I mean, just the comparison here. Justin Herbert, 26 of 34, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 sacks. Let's give a round of applause to the offensive line, including Trey Pipkins, man. Trey Pipkins, we said it. We just want him to be serviceable.
Pretty serviceable yesterday.
There were 0 sacks. I mean, yes, there were some hits, but it obviously wasn't enough to take our big sunshine boy, Justin Herbert, down.
No one's putting a cloud over that.
0 sacks. So Justin Herbert had a quarterback rating of 129.4. Derek Carr, 22 of 37, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks. Actually, and quarterback rating 69.1.
We went back and watched some of this game, man. Like he was just not accurate. He was hitting people on the back of the head. Like
Devontae, he had on the easy little like fade route at the 5-yard line, just throws it 10 yards out of bounds. It's just he was not clicking. He was not ready for that game.
I don't think he's elite.
Don't think the elite status falls for that. So
not today.
Well, now, folks, it's time for us to look on to the next game, Chiefs week. It's a short week, folks. Thursday's going to be coming in really quickly. We all know this. And the previous game for the Chiefs was this Sunday as well. We saw the Chiefs beat the Cardinals pretty handedly. Yeah, 44 to 21.
Bad baby.
Yeah,
that offense did not take time to make up for Tyreek Hill not being there.
No.
Nope.
Patrick Mahomes had 360 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 62 rushing.
Who is that?
He's a 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. I had no idea who he was.
Wow.
Yeah, he had 6 yards rushing is not backbreaking, but he led the team in rushing.
Yeah, and Travis Kelce, obviously being Travis Kelce, 121 yards and all that jazz. So something to keep an eye on. But again, it's a short week. We're going to be seeing it really quickly here. Just a couple of days. So hopefully these guys can get rested up and be ready to go.
JC Jackson should be back, right?
I'm hoping, dude. I know we were talking about JC Jackson coming back for this game. Obviously, that ended up not being the case. So hopefully that changes and we get to see him this Thursday. Looking over at the injury report as it stands right now, Ian Rappaport tweeted out about Keenan Allen. He's going to have an MRI on his hamstring after being ruled out yesterday. Source said, given the quick turnaround, missing Thursday versus Chiefs makes sense, but tests today will determine the full extent of the injury. So,
and somebody said that he wasn't wasn't hurting him right now. They just wanted to be safe.
Yeah.
What was that?
They needed to get an MRI because it wasn't like oh my God, this hurts so bad. It's definitely torn type of a thing.
Yeah, no, he seemed to be, he was walking around at the end of the game. He was walking around with all the other players. So, not enough to keep him, off the field in that sense, but I think it was Gilbert Manzano that had the tweet that asked him about if he would play this Thursday, and Keenan Allen said it's a possibility. And when he reminded him that it's a short week, he's like, it's a small possibility. So, due to our crazy schedule this week, folks, we don't have a fan focus or a Bolt Insight lined up. We apologize.
So
we will have those segments back for early next week.
This is just a wild week.
This is
with
just a wild
traveling to
week,
both
yeah.
games. Like, we're just trying to
Right. And
get this stuff out to you guys.
we're at an Airbnb. We've got a deadline to get on here. Kyle's got to get back out on the road to get back to San Diego. So we're going to try to
get
rush
on
through
another
this.
flight to meet us.
Yeah,
out
I gotta get back and spend some of my family for like
It's
4
a
hours.
wild,
before I
hectic
leave.
week. And I just
I
moved
love
to
every
Missouri.
minute
I've
of it.
spent like 4 days in my apartment. I don't think I've still got boxes that need to be unpacked. So it's a wild, hectic week. We will get back to normal here pretty soon. But in the meantime, you can go on over to our website, chargerchat.com, where we have awesome stuff over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other members and other Charger Chatteteers in our member section and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check it out, chargerchat.com. All right. Well, now it is time to go on to this chunky ass segment.
Thick.
We were worried because we
3
didn't get the
Cs.
Ask Boltfam post out until late after the game.
You guys delivered.
Shouldn't have worried.
Should not have worried.
Yeah.
No. In fact, so just a forewarning, folks, we got to record this kind of early. If you ask a question later on that we don't get to, we apologize. Again, it's a hectic week. We will get to your question.
Maybe we'll do it live in Kansas City.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
whatever
go.
we don't
The
get
ones
to,
that
we'll
don't
do
come
a
in
little live.
All
We'll
right.
do it on Instagram. And
There
that
we
was
go.
really fun. If you can, you want to come join
Oh,
us.
that
on,
Instagram live was
we
so
do-
fun.
We're going to start doing a little more Instagram live stuff. And
I promise not to spill your beer.
it was actually
I hope
pretty
you do.
fun.
It's a lucky charm.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to the segment, folks. Ask Bolt Fam. Let's go.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Bosa hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated. Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. It's time for Ask Bolt Fam. We started off with Humboldt County fan, who asked the question.
Holy mother of God, how fucking awesome was that? I need a super intelligent computer brain from the future to calculate how many sacks and interceptions and forced fumbles we got today. Mac and Bosa were absolutely machines. We need to start a GoFundMe to buy Derek Carr some new mascara after the crying our defense made him do. And we did that all without JC Jackson. Just imagine how good this defense is going to be when that dude comes back. OMG, I am so damn bolted up. I cannot wait for the Queefs game on Thursday. I would say f the Raiders, but we literally just did. We love you, bye.
All right. Humboldt County fan, thank you for that. I don't think there was a question in here, but yes, maybe we should start a GoFundMe for Derek Carr. And
So on,
I think he makes enough money. He can
he
buy.
might be
his
sponsored by
mascara.
Maybelline, actually.
Yeah.
so I think today is WFTR.
Yeah.
We fucked the Raiders.
Yeah, it's done.
We did it. We done did.
Undid it,
Oh,
folks.
FTR, baby.
FTR. All right. Humboldt County fan, thank you for piping up. Let's move it on now to Compact Disc.
Yes,
We saw him.
yesterday.
Who asked the question?
First off, it was great meeting y'all. Second, on my travels through Thunder Alley, I saw Kev verbally jousting with a Raider fan. It was amazing. We had his back if anything happened, LOL. Now, who was/is your favorite movie or TV villain?
All right. Favorite movie or TV villain? Quick go.
Oh, we were just talking about. There's a really funny one. It's a
Gold member. Gold member is my favorite.
Gold member.
Gold. I love gold.
I love gold.
We watched that last night.
Fasha.
Yeah. What is it? The Perkins size from
Oh,
Heavyweights.
Heavyweights?
Yeah, he's a great villain.
Oh yeah, Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
He's a good villain.
He's a great villain.
He's a psychopath.
He's like, well, yeah, mean to fat kids.
I love that. Well, I'll stick with your line of thinking there, Kyle. I'm going to go Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil's good.
With the freaking bone here.
Scotty don't.
Scuddy don't. Compact Disc, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Kyle T, who asked the question.
Woo! Take that, you motherfucking no good rotten faders. You should have gotten better car insurance. Is it just me or was that a very cathartic win? Bolt the fuck up. Okay, love you. Bye.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Just being person with all those Raider fans and how sad and shitty they felt the whole game.
Yeah.
Because we were just, that defense was just mopping them up, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was just that they couldn't, anytime they would start to get excited, you'd feel the ramp ups. If they have a few good plays, and it was just
They were
body
any
slam.
first down was just like, you would have thought they scored 12 points.
The guy behind us was like, the first downs were touchdowns for him. He was just
and the lady in front of us. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very excited.
They were
about
hooting and
first downs.
hollering and then quickly silenced. Yeah, it's absolutely cathartic. I mean, considering the loss from last year, how the whole season ended because of that game.
Yeah,
this is absolutely. It feels so good.
And it felt like a complete game. Offensively, I know we struggled a little bit at the end. Got a little bit predictable, but overall, last year in week 18, we lost that in the first half. We just came out so slow, and so bad. Like that was the worst half of football we played all year. And this year, that wasn't the case. We came out and started the game pretty hot with the sack, held them to a field goal, went down, scored a touchdown. So yeah, I felt like that was. I just like that we got started fast.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, Kyle T, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Michael Stephen Haas, who asked the question.
First, fuck the Raiders. Great game overall, and they will get better with time. Was Mike Will quiet because they took him away? Do you think when J.C. Jackson returns, they'll play more man? And finally, do you think Lombardi should scheme up some designed runs for Herbert? All right, love you, bye.
All right. Was Mike Will quiet because they took him away?
I don't know. I couldn't see. Like I wasn't paying attention enough to look at just Mike Will the whole time. I just think Justin's going to take what they give you, right? Yeah. The Raiders have a couple of guys on defense, and maybe they did once Keenan went down. They were following Mike.
That's possible.
That would be a very logical thing to do. But I think Justin's not going to force it. If there's another guy that's open, he's going to go through his progressions.
He's clearly got the targets. Yeah. He's not afraid to throw it to somebody else.
Right. His volume was so spread out that's pretty clear.
Well, J.C. Jackson, when J.C. Jackson returns, do you think they're going to play more man coverage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. They were in quite a bit of cover 2 man there. The fourth quarter when we had that lead, we knew they were throwing the ball. We were in 2 man most of the time. So we still weren't scared to go man. I mean, the last play of the game, we had Derwin James locked up on Devontae Adams. He shut him down pretty well. So, I think man is what we wanted to do last year, just didn't have the personnel to do it. We're already doing it now even without our best corner. So that is going to be a staple, I think, of our defense.
All right. And then finally, do you think Lombardi should scheme up some designed runs for Herbert?
No. There was several times where Justin could have run. I think they're being very intentional with him not running the rock right now. They don't want him to get hurt.
Well, and the one time he did run and slid, they went right at his head.
Yeah, and he was a little slow getting up.
Yeah, so I don't want that at all.
That might have set the tone for less runs later on in the day. I mean, he did have a run that got called back from a flag, so it's not like he's not afraid to run.
Yeah, that was a decent one too.
And that was a decent one. That would have been a first down had it not been for the flag. So we'll see as time goes on, Michael Stephen Haas, but thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Daniel Llewellyn.
Daniel.
Who asked the question?
What's up, muchachos? Holy fucking pirate hooker hell! That Bolt defense looked good. 6 sacks and 3 interceptions with Max sealing the deal. Sony getting the first down when we needed it. No questions, just yeah. Can later on dudes.
Yeah, fuck yeah, brother.
Absolutely, Daniel. Yeah, it was a nice start to the season. It's obviously setting the tone now, getting 6 sacks and 3 interceptions. I mean,
it's what we wanted to see when they went out and got all these names. You can't argue that it worked. We didn't even have all of them either.
The acquisitions performed. Gerald Everett, all of them stepped up and had big games.
Carter, everybody.
It's pretty crazy how different our football team is this year.
Big time.
Yeah, and that defensive line, like blocking passes at the point. Johnson had a nice block there in the fourth quarter, and just just watching. You showed me that one play where Max setting the edge.
Yeah,
that's some different shit right there, man.
Yeah.
Different shit.
We love it. Daniel Llewellyn, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to 6 Rets.
Certified fresh?
I'm going to say so. Who asked the question?
I thought Kenneth Murray played well. There were flashes here and there, but one missed tackle that he celebrated. What do you think of Kenneth Murray?
Yeah, thought he did great.
Yeah, we've watched the game kind of a couple times, just watching it, the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
He just played with a lot more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was blitzing, he was going. He was a man on a mission. He wasn't like hesitant and trying to read too much. I think that's going to be the big evolution for him, is just being a football player and not like, oh, I'm in the NFL now, I have to do all these reads, I have to go through these steps, because he just got frozen. So
Right.
and when he was making plays, it wasn't 10 yards down the field. So I think he's going to be free to be more of the Kenneth Murray football player that we had drafted.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Looking forward to it. 6 Rets, thank you for asking the question.
Welcome.
And welcome. Yes, let's move it on now to Gavin Gibson.
Gavin.
Who asked the question?
Let's go! Beating the Raiders is always sweet, but seeing our defense play like that made it even sweeter. Kelly was a different running back out there, and Pitkins was great compared to last season. This is the start of it, boys. We're going to be the ones to lift that Lombardi trophy with a shower of powder blue and gold. Those poor excuses for Pirates didn't know what hit him. Carter got the reunion with Mac that we all know he deserves. My question for you boys is, what was the biggest transformation you saw on both offense and defense? Let's do the same again Thursday against the Queefs and show all those little homies who really owns the AFC West. As always, bolt up, K, love you, bye. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
That was a good one. I like that voice. That's solid.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, dude, it was fantastic. I don't know how to say it any differently.
Well, what do you think the biggest transformation that we saw on offense and defense?
Offense, I don't think it was a transformation. I think that's we saw
just
what we normally
upgraded
see.
some spots.
Just maybe a little bit more spread out.
Better tight end. I'd say that's the biggest transformation.
Yeah,
for me.
Maybe.
Yeah. Trey McKitty had a bad drop, but Gerald Everett had a couple.
In terms of
plays.
Everett versus Cook.
Everett versus Cook. That is absolutely a big
upgrade.
transformation. Yeah.
Defensively, obviously the pass rush is insane.
Right.
It's just
pass rush and the run stop too. I mean, we kept them under 70 rushing yards.
It was, and there was this stat that Next Gen put out. Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa combined for 16 pressures, 4.5 sacks, and 2 turnovers caused by pressure in Sunday's win. That is terrifying.
Yeah. That's a big transformation
bad for our opponents.
We're not used to seeing that
That's
either.
insane.
So, all right. Well, there you go, Gavin Gibson. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to G. Short Teller,
certified fresh,
who asked the question.
And the Chargers were +3 turnovers and +6 sacks. Why was this a 5-point game?
Why was it a 5-point game, Kyle?
I think our offense just got a little bit conservative in the fourth
A
quarter.
little too conservative.
Yeah, we started with the run pass philosophy, and
We kind of took our foot off the gas.
we just took our offensively. We were running to run the clock down, which you want to do, but our run game just wasn't there.
And the lead wasn't as wide as it should have been to really kind of make that type of a play call, I think.
Yeah. Well, it was 2 scores. Like we were up 2 touchdowns because it was 11 or 12 points for the most of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you need to be able to run the ball in those situations. We just couldn't do it. So once it wasn't working, let's go back and let's just try to score more points. Maybe we went conservative a little bit too early. But coaches are going to learn too.
Right. Yeah, they're going to learn.
Yeah, we got a W, which is what matters.
That's
and there's
really
coaching points
matters
here to learn on.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be able to run the rock. Where can we run it more effectively? What does that need to look like? I don't know. I think it's the NFL. When is it not a 1-score game?
Yeah. Right.
That's just what the NFL is. The Raiders are not just a god awful football team that suck at what they do. We're better than them, but I mean, I'm not going to get upset about W's.
Mm-mm. And it's a division win.
Well, and the other big thing too is like last year we didn't have a lot of 2-possession leads going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time to adjust. Like, hey guys, we might be here. Let's really figure out how this team runs out the clock well and bears these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's at least from my opinion.
I agree. All right. Well, G. Shorteller, I apologize. I'm not sure if
Welcome
I
to the
pronounced it right, but
podcast.
welcome and thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Blonded Surfer.
All right.
Who asked the question? Well, Blonded Surfer, you asked for Fisherman Andy from the Bayou, but I don't know what the that is, so I'm going to go with Blonded Surfer. Okay. Number one, that QB sneak with the 2 yards to go was very, to put it nicely, dumb. I get you wanted to catch the Raiders off guard, but Lombardi, is that really what you want to call a QB sneak? Number two, not going for it on 4th and 1 near midfield was disappointing. What makes Staley is his conviction of running the team how he wants to and not by anyone's rules, all right? I feel if there was one to go for, it was that one, all right? I'm hoping it's more related to him having a great defense he can trust to get the offense the ball back versus a situation where he's afraid of what critics might say about his aggressiveness. Anyway, I hope we get that aggressive mindset going. You won't win your division, let alone a Super Bowl, not playing your brand of football. Till Thursday and a good old classic, f*** you to the Raiders. Slobber dog out.
Awesome.
All right. Well, so the QB sneak,
The QB sneak, that didn't work out so
it
well.
didn't work, but I
It's
don't know
easy
if
to criticize.
dumb.
Yeah,
Right.
it's easy to
After that.
look back Monday morning quarterback, and that was a bad play call.
No.
If he gets it, it's like, oh yeah, we have a 6'6" quarterback that weighs 240 pounds. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So that is our brand of football. Is that no huddle, hurry up, catch them off. That's what we do on offense. Looking back, yeah, we would have been nice to call something different. But if he calls a rollout or a handoff to get stuffed, it's why didn't he do the quarterback sneak?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a terrible play call. Maybe been a little bit long. Again, from my seats, I couldn't tell how long. They went quarterback sneak. I was like, oh, it must have been a couple inches.
I thought it was a 1 yard. But
Yeah.
We were behind him. We weren't on the.
But we didn't
50.
get it regardless. So
yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a dumb call. Obviously, that's something that they've practiced, and I'm sure it's worked for in the past. But
Justin would have gone up there and run it if he didn't see what he wanted.
yeah,
Once he got up there, he saw the defense, the way that they were aligned. He thought that was a good call. He would have checked out of it.
yeah.
They had plenty of time on the play clock to get a different play in. So I think they saw what they wanted, and it just didn't work out, which just happens sometimes in football.
All right.
The idea of Brandon Staley being worried about critics. If you were worried about critics your first year as an NFL head coach after being in the NFL for 3 years or whatever, you don't go out and do what he did.
Yeah.
He's clearly not concerned about critics. I think he has a defense now that he trusts, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to give you the ball at the 2 yard line. Good luck going 98 yards instead of here's the ball at the 40."
There were a couple times where those punts led immediately to a turnover,
Yeah,
like right afterwards. So we had better field position than if we would have gone for it. So it's just a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last year he didn't have that. Last year our best chance of winning was putting the ball in Justin's hands and letting him throw the ball. So I think it's just a change in the identity of our team a little bit. But it's not to say that's not his brand of football anymore. He still will go for it on 4th down. It's just maybe not in those super ultra aggressive you can't trust your defense type of scenarios.
Yeah.
Blonded Surfer, there you go. Thank you for asking the question. Let's go on now to NMH. I guess it's Nose MH Snow. I don't know. Yeah.
Certified fresh.
Let's say that. Who asked the question? What are your worries for this team? I thought they should have blown them out, but they just took their foot off the gas pedal. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we thought that we could run the ball enough to run down the clock and just kind of end the game. Obviously, the running game couldn't get established. So I think that's something that needs to get stepped up. I think if they can establish the running game a little bit better in the future, obviously, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a worry, but I think they really should have ended that game the way they ended the last game last year. It was like, just give the ball to Herbert, let him throw the ball, let him keep it. I mean, don't take your foot off the gas. We've got a 2-point lead. Let's make it 3. Let's make it 4. Like, just keep going. We had 0 turnovers that game. We had 0 interceptions. Trust that and just keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah. The more we sit here and talk about it, the more I'm a little bummed we didn't just go try to score 40.
Yeah.
We did get a little bit too conservative on it.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do?
But you're not worried about it, though.
Yeah. No. I'm not worried about it. Obviously, if that's the way that we want to play, then we need to just get better at running the football. We didn't do a good job.
Yeah, exactly. NMH, thank you for asking the question.
You're welcome.
Let's move it on now to Cerrone Photo,
Certified fresh.
who asked the question. Keenan Allen outlook. how to play better in the secondary, even with JC coming back and take on Staley's adjustments as the game went on. I thought they were very good, but how can he get this defense on the same page? Things to talk about that went well that are overlooked. Clock management. All right, so Keenan Allen outlook.
I don't think he'll play Thursday.
Don't think he'll play Thursday, but because
Unfortunately.
we're on the short week this week, he's get a whole extra week
Palmer
more.
week.
to get rested up. But yeah,
Yeah.
Palmer should be stepping up, and obviously DeAndre Carter stepped up last game as well.
Yeah.
But who do they elevate from practice squad if Keenan's inactive?
Bandy.
Bandy would be awesome. Reed wouldn't hurt either. They're both kind of fan favorites right now, so we'll see. Bandy getting a little bit more of the edge. So even with JC coming back and taking on Staley's adjustments as the game went on,
I don't know if I agree.
how can he get his defense on the same page? I thought the defense was on the
I
same
don't know
page.
how much more you can
we
be.
had three
Right, with 3
picks and
interceptions and
6
6 sacks. I don't know how much more on the same page they could get.
You just-
Mike Davis was kind of the weak spot, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty consistent throughout
Right.
the day. So if JC Jackson replaces Mike Davis, I think. But even so, we kept the team to how many points in the NFL? That's
19.
Yeah,
pretty
under
solid.
20. Yeah.
yeah.
Typically a win. And then clock management of things that went well. Yeah, I didn't see any clock management issues whatsoever. Which is a good point.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing you could say is they're getting conservative and running the ball at the end of the game instead of.
Sure.
It was by all other accounts, besides that missed field goal, it was a clean game.
Yeah.
And nothing catastrophic happened to us, like a bad call or,
No
it was
turnovers.
a very clean game.
No
No,
sacks.
turnovers, no sacks. Like it doesn't get much more clean than that.
Yeah. And very minimal penalties. So
Yeah.
Cerrone Photo, thank you. All right, well now let's move it on to a free. Who asked the question? Oh yeah, nothing like a good old-fashioned Raiders ass whipping. Hearts out to Keenan Allen, who went catch for catch before the misfortune struck. And shout out to Rashawn Slater for absolutely putting the clamps on Chandler Jones. Shout out to ASJ for stepping up and taking the challenge against Adams. And a special shout out to Khalil Mack for that masterclass of a game. But my question for Wolldog is, if Kevin got arrested, what would you assume that he did? Coach, rate Pipkin's performance. And Kevin, who would win a race between Sonic the Hedgehog and the Roadrunner? That's all the time I have tonight, ladies and gents. Take care, because you know the vibes. We outside. Bolt up, baby. K-Love you, bye. Yeah, that was a good.
The late night host voice.
I know. Well, I like the way
Sultry
that ended. I
tones.
might change the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
You know the vibes. We
Yeah.
outside. Bolt up, baby. K-Love you, bye.
I love that. Maybe that's how we wrap out
It's a
Fridays.
good poem.
That's a good way to wrap out Fridays.
Okay, so if Kevin got arrested, what would I assume that he did?
Having a good time.
Knocked over some lady's drink as he was walking back to his seat.
Yeah, probably.
He would have done something that he didn't realize that he did.
I want to bring something up. I was being jovial and
No, you were
fun with
being-
Raider fans.
You did great.
Coach.
You did very good.
I was.
Coach, on the
No.
other hand.
That's
Coach
not
got
true.
into it a little bit.
That's not true at all.
It absolutely is true.
No, it's not. Here's what I did. I have strategy. You don't. You have emotion. I talk smack as we're walking into the stadium. You talk smack to the people we sit with for 4 hours.
I didn't do that at all.
But you didn't. You did not do it this
Let me
week.
just example. We walked into the stadium. I dip over. You can go watch it on our live thing from the Instagram. I'm talking to a Raider fan. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are great. Derek Carr sucks." I'm like, "This guy's awesome. We're friends."
Right.
Kyle's yelling at somebody behind me at the same time. It was like, "Whoa!" I thought Kev was Kyle. Kyle was
Right.
Kev. Who
we
knows?
did good. We did
Right.
good.
We did good.
No confrontations. It was a good week.
Right.
Minor verbal jousting.
Minor verbal
Yeah.
jousting.
Well, it was light jousting.
Like
Yeah.
jousting.
So yeah, whatever Kevin did, I think he would have not realized that he did it, and they would arrest him.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what happened?
Kyle, would you rate Pipkin's performance?
I mean, good because I didn't notice him. There was
Right.
one play at the beginning of the game on a run that he just completely olayed a guy.
After I
Right.
got jacked.
That was not very good.
Right, probably resulted in a hit.
But overall, we had 0 sacks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I haven't sat down and watched every single play of Trey Pipkins.
Pipkins, yeah.
Maybe for a future episode I will, but overall I thought it was fine. I didn't notice him. He didn't stick out like a sore thumb. Max Crosby definitely didn't have the kind of game he had in week 18 against Doran Morton. So that's a win in my book. Even if we were helping him, it didn't slow down the offense. So it was solid. Solid
Excellent.
performance.
And then Kev, who would win?
Sonic for sure, dude.
Sonic, yeah.
And Sonic the Hedgehog is the man. He's got magic. Roadrunner's is fast.
Magic.
Sonic's got like magic porcupine fucking hair and shit. The kids love that shit and they're fast. So when my kids run with their arms behind their back like Sonic, it makes them faster.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
That
You
makes
see the
sense.
speed
He's
increase.
inspiration.
He's inspiration to us all.
All right. Well, there you go, Free. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now.
But before we do,
Yes.
we got to let Coach go.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Coach has to drive back down to San Diego.
Coach has a deadline to meet. We got to let him meet that deadline. We're team players here at Charger Chat. So should we get in early? K, love you, bye.
Always. Okay, love you. Bye, guys. I'll see you in Kansas City.
All right.
That's right.
That's right.
We're not going anywhere. We still have like 50 more questions.
Yeah, we still got a lot more
We'll be
questions here, folks.
There's too many
sit
questions.
Tight. Sit tight while we adjust the frames and everything like that.
Bye.
All right, folks. Well, now we will continue with Ask Boltfam.
High five.
Two-headed edition, baby. Which is weird because we're clapping
The
this
other way.
Let's go on now to Mr. Milchick, who asked the question.
Survivor?
I'm going to say yes.
What do you think happened on the ASJ pick? How was that ruled down at the 2?
I didn't understand that at all.
No.
We were like on cloud 9, interception in the end zone. Why is this not out on the 20?
Mm-mm. And it was a situation where because we saw it live. It happened at the end zone furthest away from us. And when the ref came on to do the reasoning, I couldn't quite hear him. And that was something that I haven't heard back on rewatching some of these games. So he gave a reason, but I don't understand it because when you're watching it, he might have said that he was down by contact, but like he contacted with our own Charger. When he caught the ball, caught it, rolled into the end zone. Maybe it was the roll into the end zone. Maybe he can't willfully roll into the end zone. I don't know.
It was one of those like, this is stipulation 4.357 on our penal code of
Right.
NFL football. Like,
Right. When
okay.
this happens, you're down at the 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's
I really don't understand.
Yes, I'm not a fan. I'll have to go back and rewatch and see exactly what happened. But the crowd thought it was on the 20. I'll tell you that.
We all
much.
did. And even, I remember seeing it on the board. It said, 1st and 20.
Yeah.
But then they changed it to 2. So is what it is. Mr. Milchick obviously didn't affect the outcome of the game, but thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Friar Bolt, who asked the question.
Ew, I could literally smell car soil diapers through my TV. I haven't enjoyed a victory like that in such a long time. Which side of the ball do you think we are going to enjoy more? The offense or the defense? How do you think this defense will do against the Chiefs?
I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing. Like each week, I think it's going to be a back and forth. The offense is going to be insane. The defense is going to be insane. They're so equally kind of on the same level, in my opinion, that it's just going to be based on the matchup and what we get. If they, decide to run on all day on us and we kind of hold them to a minimal amount of running yards, but
Right.
nothing goes up in the air, it's a different energy than what Carr was trying to do to us. So that's what's exciting. We're going to go into these games not knowing who's going to kick the most ass, but there will be a lot of ass kicked.
Much ass will be kicked. Yeah, I think the defense is going to be more enjoyable, and I think they're going to do just fine against the Chiefs, especially if we can get J.C. Jackson back. I think that's going to be a huge help in the secondary. Because it was such a close, down to the minute decision as far as him playing in this most previous game. I'm really holding out hope that he's good to go for Thursday. Again, the wound is healed. He's out there. He's practicing. He's doing drills. So my fingers are crossed for Thursday. We'll find out if that happens. But Friar Bolt, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hain,
Nice.
who asked the question.
Brisket, victory, brisket. Put the Raiders. Sacks for the days, picks for days. Do you think KA-13 will be okay? We needed him on the third down department. DC stepped up in 13's absence, I say. On to fuck up KC. Family trust civility, not as good, but hey, K, love you, bye.
Family trustability.
I like
I like that a lot.
That's a good one.
Family trustability week.
I hope you're listening, Chargers social media, family trustability.
Because we are civil.
We are.
Civil
Yeah, we
fan
keep it
base.
civil, yes. Civil and respectful.
That's right.
Will he be okay? Absolutely. I mean, again, if we didn't see him walking around at the end of the game, obviously that would be a different story. But
he was out on the field shaking everybody's hands, was not limping, had nothing on.
No.
I think it was this team goes very precautionary.
Absolutely.
Especially coach, that's his like philosophy. So get him out.
Yeah.
Even when he was walking out of this, walking to the tunnel, I was watching him walk and it looked like he was going to stop at the bench. And then kind of didn't stop, and like kind of the coach was kind of like, all right, let's go in. Like it was kind of the things where he wasn't, he was kind of annoyed that he was going into the locker room. Is that at least I was directly watching him leave, and I kind of had that energy. So hopefully it's nothing major. Just knowing what we've done, I don't think he's going to play Thursday.
No,
knowing how team and coaches responded to people. Doing that. So we'll see. We're going to have guys step up if he doesn't, though.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously having Keenan Allen out there to help us on the offense is huge. I mean, the guy's been in the league for so long. He's in his 10th year now. He's obviously one of the best route runners in the league. Why wouldn't you want that on your offense? But am I worried about not having Keenan Allen? No. We obviously saw guys step up in this last game. We saw DeAndre Carter making catches that were insane. That catch that DeAndre Carter had into the end zone, I don't know how he did that. I don't know how he caught that, but incredible. He caught it. So having guys like that, Gerald Everett, obviously Mike Williams is still going to be a threat in some capacity. Josh Palmer, and then whoever's going to get, Jalen Guyton also was out there on the field a couple times. I think he got targeted. I don't think he had a catch, but he's still in the mix. So I think we're going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
And all things considered, we got out of that game pretty healthy.
Yeah. If Keenan Allen's the only one, and it was a minor hamstring injury.
And
like
you look, we watched some of the game this morning, and you look at the Raiders, they were losing guys left and right.
Right. They had a couple guys go down
secondary and stuff. So in terms of that, like, it's a healthy way to get out of here.
You almost couldn't ask for anything more.
And it's kind of like what Khalil Mack said at the end of the game during his like, all right, guys, they gave him the game ball, and he's and he's like, all right, well, let's go celebrate in the cold tub. Get ready. We're going to celebrate while we're getting in the cold ready tub for next week. I love that.
We don't have time to celebrate. Everybody get in the cold tub.
Let's enjoy it while we're getting ready for the next one.
That's right.
I love that.
It's such a good mentality. House of Hayne, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Shamelessly Positive Ryan, who asked the question.
What were the worst things you saw coming from Raider fans at SoFi? Can't love you, bye.
The most annoying was the guy that was in front of us with this huge hat, and he wouldn't sit down.
Dude would not sit down.
He was being a prick about it too, but that's a minor thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get people that... I get standing up for third down situations.
Yeah,
that's
standing
big.
up for an entire
for an entire stretch, an entire drive. Like, come on, man. Like,
not cool, bro.
Sit down.
Other than that, the other thing that was pretty good, Raider fans get so blasted at tailgates. Like, we drank, but we came in like, we want to watch this game.
Oh yeah.
The Raider fans don't really want to go there and watch the game. I saw so many guys passed out.
Oh yeah.
There was one guy in front of us who fell asleep like this, like, oh. His girlfriend was like, is so embarrassed, like looking back for help. Like, we're not helping you, lady.
Yeah, no. What do you want me to do?
You go down with that ship. Right. But then when we were leaving, they have like benches out by the, when we exit. Oh, and there were so many Raider fans.
Oh, I saw that guy. Yeah.
There was like 5 of them. They were all like
down,
passed out.
Yeah.
Shitty. It's like, all right, well, I'm glad you got
too hard.
Paid all that money to go there and pass out.
Yeah, and I think some of those guys were pretty crossfaded. I think there was like a whole row of Raider fans in front of us that were smoking pretty hard.
Yeah,
because you could smell it. Yeah, I mean, there's no avoiding it, especially in California.
They were puff passing,
right? So
and
they
were completing them, but Derek Carr wasn't completing.
But not Derek Carr. So yeah, I think they were just crossfaded and just passed out and went just a little too hard.
Good for them.
Yeah, which good for them.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with them. They pass out.
Yeah, when they're passed out, they're just harmless.
They're the best Raider fan is a passed out Raider fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shamelessly Positive Ryan, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Michael Stephen Haas, who asked the question.
After seeing the Chargers play with all their new additions for the first time together, are there any concerns you have moving forward? Do you think Mike Williams not being targeted at all in the first half is something to worry about? Also, fuck the Raiders. Love you. Bye. Ho-ha.
I love that voice so much.
Any concerns?
I'm trying to think, honestly. Like, it kind of...
Mike Williams not being targeted, I don't think is a concern. If Justin Herbert didn't think he could throw him the ball, he's not going to throw him the ball. They don't design plays to be like, okay, this play you are throwing to Mike Williams and only Mike Williams. It's like Justin Herbert's been in the league 3 years. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's not a situation where he is only forced to throw to one person. So if Mike Williams either isn't open or he doesn't like what he sees, he's not going to throw it to Mike Williams. And it's nothing against Mike Williams. He's obviously thrown to Mike Williams plenty, and that's not a concern. It's just that game didn't see that many targets. He still threw him the ball, just not on big, deep routes or anything like that.
They just didn't give him the opportunity. I think the one that kind of slightly worried us, Michael Davis was getting beat all game.
Michael Davis is probably the
biggest,
only
and he's a backup. So when J.C. Jackson's there, he's not playing. So that was the only thing that was like, oh wow, yeah, we were getting kind of scorched over. He was getting beat a lot. So hopefully that was just, we can chalk it up to a bad game and him, having to cover things he wasn't ready for. But we need J.C. Jackson back to be we have the ability, I think, after seeing how they played, to be the elite defense in the National Football League.
We paid the guy a buttload of money. We need to see some game time. Obviously, we didn't see any in the preseason, which is obvious. We don't necessarily want to see in the preseason. We want to see in a game that matters. We're going into a game that absolutely matters, an AFC West opponent. So we would like to see that happen. So the sooner the better. Fingers crossed it happens. Michael Stephen Haas, thank you.
Appreciate it.
For asking the question. Let's move it on now to Joel Carranza.
Certified Fresh.
Who asked the question. Is Joe Lombardi going to be our Achilles heel this year? There's a little more the Rip Taylor or something like that.
No, I don't think so, man. I think it's just you give these guys time to get warmed up and figure it out. Like we said earlier, I think, playing ahead, you got to practice that. We got to get better at that. We haven't had too many of those opportunities. We know how to come from behind. That's something we've done a lot last year.
Right.
Or like have a really close game and pull out a win. We know how to do that. Let them give time to figure out, how they're going to do it and how they're going to run it. I guarantee you, Coach Staley, doesn't call offensive plays. I'm sure they're having a meeting today about what happened and why that happened that way.
Absolutely.
So I'm not too concerned about, him being the Achilles heel. And if Coach were here, he doesn't like putting blame on coaches like that. So
no, and you're right. It's not going to be a meeting of like, okay, Joe, you got to get better at this, and Joe's like, we're going to get better, trust me. And Staley goes, okay, and just like,
I promise.
Yeah, I promise. I'll take care of it. And he's like, okay. No, it's going to be obviously that Staley has a level of expectation for how all sides of the ball need to accomplish what it is that they need to accomplish. And if he was really concerned about how the end of that last game went, there's going to be a conversation to be had. There's going to be talks about like, okay, what can we do better? How are we going to do this better? And it will be accomplished. It's going to be a short week. So I think there'll be short meetings between now and the next game, but it will be talked about. Absolutely. So, Achilles heel, I don't see that being the case, Joel.
That will be okay.
We'll be all right. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Conjure the Dak.
Certified Fresh. Dude, a fresh episode, Bulldog.
It's very fresh.
Very fresh.
Who asked the question? Herbert does it again, but not without losing a key receiver. How do y'all feel after seeing our backups show out today? Hey, how do y'all feel about our depth? Also, go Bolts! Oh, Harry Carey business.
That was very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
How do we all feel about seeing our backups show out today?
We can rotate now.
We can rotate.
Not in the essence of needing those guys out for 90% of the snaps. We can rotate out and in, and that's how you have a good team that stays healthy. So I'm thrilled on that. Super excited with especially the status of the D line, how they were able to rotate in and out and stay fresh. They were always getting pressure.
Yeah,
that pocket was just shrinking every time he dropped back to pass.
Big time. Yeah, I mean, we saw them all. We saw Bash, we saw Johnson, we saw Tillery, we saw there's one more. Who am I? Morgan Fox. So seeing all those guys being able to rotate and stay fresh and not get gassed in situations is amazing. I mean, again, not just the run defense, but stop those clinch stops on like third down to have to force them to punt the ball.
Totally.
So good. So sweet. Or force them to a field goal. That first field goal, we had to force them to a field goal. It was in the red zone. So really great to see. So Conjure the Dak, thank you for asking the question and welcome. Yes. Let's move it on now to Robert Mason, AKA Pimp Yo Stepmom.
Certified Fresh.
Who asked the question. Asante Samuel
Jr.
That's the question.
Junior. Yeah, game. You talking about game ball? Asante Samuel Jr. Is that who you talking about?
I think that's who we're talking about.
One of the
here.
best interceptions the coach has ever seen. Asante Samuel Jr.
I think that's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Holy shit, he showed up to play, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little concern, I think, in the preseason because I think it was the very first preseason game where he caught himself a pass interference call by being just a tad too aggressive. But in this game, there was a lot of times that he was required to keep on Devontae Adams. And for the most part, I think did a pretty darn good job.
He was on him like, it's a good analogy, like white on rice.
White on rice. I think
it's all over him.
Yeah. So I think he did fantastic. I think, obviously there's always going to be room to improve. There's always going to be room for these guys to get better. I mean, this is Asante Samuel's third year. Yeah. Third year. So, can't wait to see what ends up happening with him and how it keeps going. But Robert Mason, thank you for asking the question. No, second year.
Second year. It's absolutely second year.
Second year.
I said, and then I was like, my brain is not accepting the Second year.
No, I didn't either.
Second year.
I didn't accept your either.
Yeah, that was wrong.
So, our bad. Robert Mason, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Doobie Doo,
Street Fat Fred,
who asked the question. Let's freaking go! 1-0, baby! We took out those bitch-ass Raiders, and now we look forward to Arrowhead. We looked pretty good. We need to clean up some stuff, but for the most part, we did what we needed to get the W. So here is my question for all of you. What group won the day? Wide receiver, defensive back, offensive line, etc. Who helped the most to get the W?
Those edge rushers, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
The edge rushers, absolutely.
The thing is, he was still effective. He threw for almost 300 yards. But the pressure and what it made him do to force those interceptions, 3 interceptions, man. When was the last time we had that in a game? And that's not just them playing great coverage. That's him panicking and shitting his pants and making bad throws.
Right.
So I think if you picked one group that really made that game what it was, absolutely our edge rushers.
Yeah, because I mean, you can look. It's funny if you looked at it and went like, okay, if in the game all we had was 3 interceptions and that's it, you'd say that was awesome.
Beautiful.
If all you had in the game was 6 sacks, you would say that was awesome. But we had them both. We had them both, and I think a lot of that needs to be attributed to the defensive edges, the edge rushers, to come in and disrupt Derek Carr and either make him throw a bad pass or make him curl up and take the sack.
Well, let's see. I think next week, we need to get Joey cranking a little bit. So let's keep this balance.
Khalil had the most this week.
Khalil,
next
and then
week,
Bosa comes back on there. Then we go up.
Well, that might end up being what happens. I mean, Chiefs might be like, shit, we got to
Khalil Mack's a problem.
We got to put 2 guys on Khalil, and then Joey's like, well, let me just walk over here and sit Patrick down.
Yeah,
call it good.
Yeah.
So
this is gonna be good. They're gonna get after his ass so good this Thursday. It's gonna be awesome.
Can't wait to see it. Doobie Doo, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Z the King 1.
I know him.
Who asked the question?
Yeah.
There was a clear issue with our offense going 3 and out in 4 straight drives on the second half today. Some people are saying that Lombardi just isn't it, and others are saying the defense needs to get in a rhythm, which will happen in a few weeks. My feeling is that they were very obvious run plays and poorly designed play calls. I believed several of these 3 and outs were run pass drives. Lombardi's biggest weakness has always been poor situational football. What are your thoughts on this, Jerry?
That's very aggressive. Excuse me.
I was in the pool. I can't do a good George Costanza.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah. There's not a lot to complain about in that game, right? So this is what people are
right. Let's find what we can
complain about
or improve on.
It's a good observation.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be a continue to happen. It's going to be a repetitive
no. This shouldn't be. If it continues to happen, then you get concerned.
Yeah.
One game, you don't get concerned, especially the first game of the season. That's not the time to get concerned.
And a W.
And a W.
We're talking about not being happy with, not blowing them out, essentially.
Right.
It's, and granted, we were sitting there like, dude, what's going on? This doesn't look like the offense it was in the first half.
The first half, we went into the half up 2 scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were on cloud 9. And then it kind of got a little closer and everyone got that little pit in their stomach and charge rings coming. Didn't come.
Didn't come
So
to
we get what you're
fruition.
saying. We get what you're saying for sure. Something to keep an eye on, but I think you do this once and realize you could have beat the shit out of them,
Right.
and then you course correct.
Exactly. So I think we're going to be fine. We'll find out, especially on a short week. That'll be a real actual big test for this offense to see how they do on the short week. So Z the King 1, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Tony Fett, who asked the question. Ooh, a question. Will we see another teabag? Okay. That's just a question. I just want to know. Okay.
That's so fun.
Okay.
Mr. Mackey.
Okay. You think this is okay? You see, you know.
It's easy, guys.
It's easy, okay.
Step 1, gotta sack Derek Carr.
All right. Will we see another teabag? I hope so. I don't remember if he got any kind of fine from doing the teabag celebration.
Oh, no. In honor of the queen, I think we need to bring the tea back.
Oh, my.
Bag.
Nice.
In her honor, we got to be
It's in her
teabagging.
honor, folks. Calm down.
Yeah, no. It's a tribute.
This is just a
the
tribute.
greatest. Just a tribute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see another teabag. I think Joey Bosa certainly got it in him. He hasn't stopped gaming, so I don't think there's a concern of like, well, he's not gaming anymore, so he's not going to teabag.
I wonder what happened. There's probably some hidden teabags going on. Like there are piles on top of Derek Carr last week. I'm sure some balls were near or around his
Just
face.
a little drag.
Almost. More of a tea drag than a
Tea drag.
He's gonna tea drag Carr all week. I think all Sunday, all Thursday.
I love that. All right. Well, yes. We hope to see it again, Tony Fett. But thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Cerberus 21.
Yes.
Who asked the question? I'll keep this short and sweet here, fellas. Fuck the Raiders and fuck yeah, we won, baby. What was that weird play where Herbert kind of like did a slide, kind of not slide kind of thing? Like, I don't know. Like, he had a legitimate shot at the end zone and hesitated hardcore. It was so weird to watch. He got up slow and my heart dropped. Enjoy the day. All right.
My voice is so
It's so much fun. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a weird play. You know, normally you would think he would go head first flying into there, but he kind of pulled up and it was odd.
It almost makes you wish he kind of led with a I don't know what you wish, but it looked like he was about to barrel himself into the end zone, but decided last second to kind of take a slide. And I mean, it resulted in a flag, which kind of kept the drive alive.
It makes me think they're in all their meetings. They're like, Justin, don't run. And it makes me think because he doesn't usually in previous years. That was not. He would just go for it.
Right. Yeah. He would just barrel himself.
There's a lot of emphasis put on, dude. You have the best arm in the National Football League, and you're one of the most accurate passers.
Please don't run.
Let's lean into that. Let's keep that arm and that accuracy on the field.
Yeah, I'd like to think. I mean, he obviously has the athleticism to get in. I think it was maybe just something like in his heart that was like, "Oh, coach wants me to slide. I don't want to slide.
I don't want to, but I'll do it."
And
then he got 50. Then he got first
got
down.
the flag, and yeah, it was. The scary part was the slow him getting up because he definitely did feel that hit to his noggin. So I think the noggin is more important. But hopefully it becomes a more definitive thought process going on. It's not because it felt like he wasn't sure, should I go for it or should I slide? And he ended up sliding. I think if he went for it, I don't think he would have been hurt quite so bad, but who knows what could have happened. But we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, Cerberus 21, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with our old favorite, Jeebs.
The D is silent.
Who asked the question. Fuck the Raiders and welcome to Victory Monday, ladies. The first of many. Holy shit, what a game. Walking into the
the stadium was annoying as shit as usual, playing these dirty pirate hooker bombs. I just kept yelling back, keep that energy, keep that energy. Fair to say they did not. It was pretty quiet with those flames on the way out. So to see that play early in the game where Herbert gets his leg pulled by a defender and he still delivered a dime to Everett on a cross route. Good God, that guy is just godly. He is just the truth. He'll forever grateful to the Bengals and Dolphins and all the expert analysts. Also, this defense, even without JC, was lights out. The Bosa combo is the real deal. Looks like we may have our top 5D, fellas. I also would like to take the moment and not really apologize because it was all warranted, but I think Pipkins stepped up pretty well today, for the most part at least. So we don't have to put this motherfucking Project Pipkins to a motherfucking end. Well, not just yet. Slater, on the other hand, can do no wrong. He owned Mr. Jones tonight. So anyway, who do you think won over RB2? Michael or JK? And how do your fantasy team do? That's it for now. Oh yeah, the Raiders. Can love you, bye.
He asked for an awesome voice request.
He wanted the fucked up voice like you've been screaming and bolting the fuck up all day.
Yeah.
Which I kind of did for a second to say, Kevin, you want to read this?
I couldn't have done it with that much glory.
We got to keep the streak alive.
Gotta keep it alive.
All right. Well, Jeeves, yes, that was
great points.
Great points.
That splits, dude. He was literally like going down like, you know, like when they like drop down to the front splits.
Oh, right.
Like,
Yeah.
It was more of like style points, I think. You know, the way he did that was so fucking like casual, you know, like nonchalant and casual.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's wrong with you? How good do you have to be?
How do you have to be? All right. Well, as far as who won the running back 2 position, or who
Kelly was the most productive.
I think Kelly was the most productive. I think Michelle definitely got more of the plays, more of the snaps.
Yeah.
But when Kelly did go out there, again, he was averaging so high on his runs.
He was fresh, dude. He was hitting the whole hard. He was just doing everything he needed to do.
And held on to the ball, which is obviously rule number 1. Don't let go of the football.
Don't let go of the football.
So yeah, I would like to see actually more Joshua Kelly, snaps next week and see how he does. And a fantasy team.
We got our asses kicked, I think. Kyle was pretty bummed about it. Jim Mills suplexed us and then T-dragged us afterwards.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it was that bad, huh?
It was pretty bad.
Oh dear. Well, we'll make some adjustments.
Hey. It's that thing when your team's winning and you look at your fantasy league, it's like none of this matters.
It doesn't matter.
My team's winning.
Right.
My real team, not my stupid fantasy.
Yeah, my IRL team.
Well, good. Congratulations to Jen.
Yes,
we'd like
congrats
to use
to Jen.
this as an opportunity to shamelessly plug her podcast.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I think that's what we have to do when we lose.
That's fair. Week. I think it's fair.
So I think you guys all need to go check out Jen Mills.
Mills on the mic.
Mills on the mic on YouTube.
That's right.
She's awesome. And
yes.
Give her a listen.
Give her a listen.
Give her a listen.
There you go.
That's right. My voice is.
All right. Well, it's time to wrap this puppy up. Yeah. Jeeves, thank you for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking the questions that you did. Again, you guys took what should have been like maybe a 20 or 30 minute podcast and made it over an hour long.
Yeah.
So congrats to you. Pat yourself on the back, folks. We will do this again. Again, this is a hectic week. We're going to freaking Kansas City here for Thursday.
Yep.
And it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun episode. I can't wait to do it. Any final thoughts there, Kev?
No, we're gonna be there. If you guys want to, if you aren't following us on Instagram, it might be worth it because at least for next week, we did a lot of live stuff and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there was a lot of.
You don't have to, but that's where a lot of our content is going. We're still going to post everything to Twitter and stuff.
Right. And we'll post the videos to Instagram as well. But if you want to see it live, if you want to chat with us
we
live.
ask questions on it, so it's fun.
Yeah. So we definitely have a good time. So if you're interested in that, if that shoots your horn,
whistle,
yeah.
if you will.
If that blows your dress up, I'd say come on over to Instagram and check it out.
Ooh. Oh, dude.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charge of Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
There are many ways to enjoy tea. The French press, the tea infuser, the tea ball, the tea strainer, the mug infuser, and of course, the coveted tea bag. But there's a new way to enjoy tea. Introducing Joey Bosa's Tea Drag, the best way to enjoy the most flavor of your tea on game day. Joey Bosa's Tea Drag. Enjoy today.